So we're gonna open with the hand. Okay, boom. Get that, switch. Dead. All right, this should have way better pack size. I can really show you guys what's going on here. But you can see how it plows through everything. It's kind of crazy. Literally, that time Wind Dancer went off and just popped them too. It just wrecks through them. I love it. Okay, I doubt it will. Of course, we got lightning. Let's ride it out a bit. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Yeah, that took a little bit. Of course, now it's cold. Now it's cold. So you have 1.5 million DPS. It seemed like he was cold resistant. Perfect. Okay, we got all buffs on. Oh my god. Okay, so we do have the freezing shrine, but we also have all of our other buffs. All right, boys, I have finished my Shattering Palm, Midnight Zenith, Composed Requiem, Monk, Martial Artist. Now, this build would probably be better on, like, Shoyula Monk, or whatever it is. Not Invoker, the other one. But, honestly, it's pretty crazy here. So, basically, the idea is we use Shattering Palm into packs. They explode with Herald of Ice, and basically we have this unique ring that Eventide petals. Midnight Zenith basically drops little ice lotuses everywhere on critical hits, and then they explode for big damage. And literally, even right now with like I have suboptimal gear. Like I've seen quarterstaffs go to like 1,000 damage. Okay, so you get one of those and it's just gonna be, you're gonna annihilate everything you touch. Like I'm already ripping through tier 15 maps like it's nothing with a bad quarterstaff here. So basically you Shattering Palm into Ice Strike if needed, and then the unique amulet pops everything. And then for bossing, you know me, gotta add a crossbow to it. I'll actually show you in a map, but with all the buffs, you just saw Elemental Conflux. When you get the cold damage boost, it goes over 1 million. I got War Banner, and then basically I'm getting Ice Bite, so 30% of damage is cold damage. And then from Shattering Palm, we get, if you have 30 Rage, you get 30% of damage as cold damage on top of that. And it goes to like 3.1 million. Now, I did buy a Corrupted Last Lament, so basically I couldn't Perfect Jewelers it, so I'd probably put heft on it, and it would probably get to like 3.4 million, I would say. It's pretty high. So basically, Shattering Palm, Ice Strike around the map, clear everything, and then for bossing, basically you hand it to Shoyula, you hit them, Freezing Mark, Elemental Weakness, then you Shattering Palm, hit it up with Ice Strike 4 times to get your combo, drop Tempest Bell, switch to Last Lament, and just they're dead. Or you just skip all of that, War Banner, Last Lament, and they're dead. So really up to you, because Composed Requiem, basically I use this for my single target damage on like cold crossbow builds, because there's no real good single target cold crossbow besides Permafrost, and then you got to use frag rounds, blah blah blah. So this has like big freeze build up. The freeze 241%, which I think is the same as like Shattering Palm, or to 27%. So I think it's the same as Ice Strike. Yeah, 251. But that's the gist of the build. So you already saw clips of it. I'm going to run another map so you can see it, and then I'll briefly explain it. And the build guide to the Icy Veins written guide is down in the description. And let's rip into it here. Yeah, this build can, and like I included in the notes in the written guide, like basically we can get a rite of passage golden charm that has Spirit of the Owl, and it gives like another, like I think it's like 30% more damage as extra cold damage. You can obviously get a headhunter and even push even more damage. Basically for the gloves, Fist of Stone, basically evasion energy shield goes to plus per level, physical damage goes to extra as physical, cold damage goes to extra as cold, melee skills goes to quality, attack speed goes chance to get onslaught, fire resistance goes to max fire resistance plus fire resistance. As you can see, we're getting global evasion and energy shield, 13% is extra physical, 50% is extra cold, 10% quality, so all my skills are at 30. It's crazy. It's honestly crazy. Rings could be better. I mean, you got to run plus 50 spirit, and it's really just not the best. I'm still I have on the tree up to level 93, but I'm missing these three, which is another 104% more evasion and another 24% energy shield. So energy shield will be above 2000, evasion should be around 50%. Really, I never have issues with dying, you know what I mean? So you do have to run high strength. I do recommend getting reduced attribute requirements on a corrupted Last Lament so you can pull that strength down to 75. But really not that bad, because when you switch to this with the passive tree, you can grab a bunch of extra strength nodes. You can get up to 103. It's really not a problem. So yeah, there's that. But basically, let's run through this real quick. Basically, the Hollow Resonance, the bell that's on your back, it doesn't seem to proc off of Last Lament crossbow. I don't know if that's a bug. I don't know if that's intended. I really don't know. But it just doesn't. But basically, one more level and I can have max supports on Hollow Focus, Hollow Resonance. So basically, it's going to be the blind side and blind. So basically, this is breaking armor when these three pop around you, and then Hollow Resonance, you'll get blind side, and that'll give you like 15% more critical hit chance and critical damage against blinded enemies. And Midnight Zenith, I have blinding enemies. So it's just a good mixture. It's just a good mixture all around. As you can see, they just pop. Like, they just pop. Let's see if I can get like a big cluster somewhere, you know? These small little dudes ain't doing anything. As you can see, it just goes. This map's not great for pack size. It's just not. The good thing about this build is it's very budget friendly. I mean, outside of the two uniques, which are not expensive, literally you can just use shit gear and absolutely destroy everything. And obviously, the more you scale it, the better it'll be. You know, obviously. As you can see, you just Shattering Palm, I strike, Shattering Palm, I strike, Shattering Palm, I strike, and everything just dies. That's it. Like, it's that easy. It's pretty wild. Like, they spawn on a hole, boom, dead. Guy seems to be... Alright, there we go. He did. But as you can see the little crystals being created on the crit. And then those also spawn when you hit bosses, and they just pop. You know? Like, see them right there? These little ice lotuses? And then boom, you hit them, and then they just destroy. But yeah, I mean, like I said, better quarterstaff. I don't even have crit chance on my quarterstaff. So you get another 5% crit chance. That's going to push crit on this to... Was my crit 36% on this? Yeah, it's going to push to probably 45-50%. Like, we really don't have high crit. This would probably get to 60, and this is what's doing the main bulk of the ice lotuses. So it's just big damage. You know, you scale it, get a better staff, and that's it. And if you've already played Monk, you probably have one. But it's a pretty just like easy, simple build. Like, it's nothing crazy. So let's do the boss here. We don't have like ice bite or anything. We got this. So we're gonna open with the hand. Okay, boom. Get that switch. Dead. He didn't have a big HP pool, but I think you get the point. All right. It just absolutely wrecks, and I think we had the lightning bonus on, so we didn't even have our cold bonus. So let me. I'm actually gonna do another map and show you guys what all the buffs are. Something that has better pack size. All right, this should have way better pack size. I can really show you guys what's going on here. But you can see how it plows through everything. It's kind of crazy. We do have like no life regen, so we have life on kill. And yeah, man. And some extra damage to that war banner, man. Just fun. It's just fun, man. Blowing through them. Ready? Blah! It's fun. It's satisfying. It's real satisfying, man. You know, like I said, this is with like a horrible quarterstaff too. Like, quarterstaffs are very expensive, especially the high-end ones. It would be too strong. I almost feel like, you know, it would be just too strong. Literally, that time Wind Dancer went off and just popped them too. It's silly. And we got a freezing shrine. Perfect. Okay, we got all buffs on. Oh my god. Okay, so we do have the freezing shrine, but we also have all of our other buffs. So yeah, and I mean, there's maps now where you go into the boss room and you get your shrine buff again when you go to the boss room. But yeah, Compose Requiem gets really crazy. It's so strong for single target damage. It's just crazy. I mean, Hollow Focus, Hollow Resonance, and they're critting off of your back every time you Shattering Palm and Ice Strike. I feel like you just watch it pulse. I mean, Ice Strike being up to 577,000 DPS is insane. Shattering Palm, it doesn't look like a lot, but it's wild. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. This is so much damage. You know what I mean? So let's just pop this. Where's he at? Yeah, he did. So, we lost something, 3.3? I don't know what we lost. Oh, War Banner. We'll have to see what it is without the shrine, because that's crazy. And I get the cold buff. Yeah, like one of the problems with this is if you really want to scale the damage, you gotta wait for the cold buff, which of course now we have it. Now we have it. But we'll have to hope we hit it on this. So yeah, if you can get lucky to get the cold damage bonus to keep proccing, it's massive damage. Of course, when I want to make a video, it's like, you can't have the cold damage boost right now. There we go. Do I have everything? Missing something. But still, without the cold shrine, it does hit 3 mil. I don't know what I'm missing. Onslaught. Missing Onslaught. I have to go do one so I can get the one with like extra monster life and really blast through them, so you guys can see with a better HP pool. I got the cold buff. Okay, so without the freezing shrine, we get to 3.5 million DPS on Composed Requiem. Now, the issue is, unless you have a pack of monsters right outside the room and you're able to get Batar's Vengeance alongside the Ice Bite to pop and then go right into the boss and throw down War Banner, you're not going to have Onslaught. So it was what, 2.9 million? It's kind of hard to get that, but if you do manage to do that, it's just a shit ton more DPS. You will still clear just fine with just War Banner and Composed Requiem with no other buffs. Like I'm pretty sure every other boss, we've already done that without it. It's still, I think, with the cold modifier, it's still over 2 million. It's still plenty of enough. It still freezes. It's insane damage. But if you manage to get your buffs, 3.5, you manage to get the freezing shrine, what was it, 5 point whatever it was? It's crazy. So I just want to, you know, put that out there. It's just extra. It's just a cherry on top. Wrecks through them. I love it. Okay. And like, you do got to be careful because when you're zipping around and you're using Shattering Palm, like you can zip right into some sort of explosion or puddle on the ground, and you'll get your ass beat. So you kind of got to be mindful of that. I doubt it will. Of course, we got lightning. Let's ride it out a bit. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Yeah, that took a little bit. Of course, now it's cold. Now it's cold. So you have 1.5 million DPS. It seemed like he was cold resistant. Definitely cold resistant because he didn't get frozen right out of the gate. But still easy, you know, still easy. Obviously, it has a little phase there where you can't hit him, but I mean, obviously you saw that we still didn't have the cold damage modifier for the boss. It's just we haven't gotten lucky, and you can see how crazy the damage is. It's so much more damage when you have it. Like right now, it's like 1.5 million with probably close to 2 with the War Banner and that. Okay, we got cold and War Banner. That's the only buffs you're gonna have. 1.6 million. It's still plenty to wipe through. Okay, still plenty. Anyway. All right, let's go over the build. Basically, like I said, passive tree is in the planner and the Icy Veins build guide down below in the description. Basically, I'm grabbing Hollow Focus and Hollow Resonance just to get that extra crit and extra damage to really pop those enemies when you Shatter Palm into them. Obviously, Way of the Stone Fist to get an insane damage, evasion, energy shield boost on your gloves. And then I'm using Way of the Mountain, which gives you 15% more damage and then hits that would damage less than or equal to 30% of your maximum life after mitigation. Deal 40% less damage, and you have 50% more stun threshold. Stun threshold is big. It's my first time really building a monk, so I needed the 50% stun threshold from that and that. So I'm getting 100% stun threshold, pretty big. And then we're just grabbing cold, freeze, elemental. Weapon set 1 is going to crit chance, crit damage. You know what I mean? Just some things here. Crit weapon set 1 for the quarterstaff, and then obviously elemental damage, inflict ailments. I got like big freeze build up, so that way you're freezing everything, they can't attack you, and you just beat them down. Weapon set 2 for those two. This is obviously just regular. Then we're getting, because this is like big damage from Herald of Ice, and then this is all weapon set 2 to grab some elemental, projectile, speed, more freeze build up. And that's a quick overview. It's way easier for you guys to reference a guide. And then as far as skills, obviously we get Composed Requiem from Last Lament. We're running Cold Mastery, Cold Attunement, Rapid Attacks 2, Elemental Armament 2. And if you get a 5th, you can put Heft in there. Same thing. All these are linked. It's way easier for you guys to just hover over them and see, but I'm still going to run through them real quick. Midnight Zenith, this is our little ice lotuses that just spawn on critical hits and just pop everywhere. Like I said, I don't have a quarterstaff with crit chance, so you get that extra 5% is going to boost all the multipliers we have, and it's going to be even more damage on top of the extra damage you get from a better quarterstaff. It's just crazy. So running this is from the unique. Okay, this is from the unique Eventide Petals. Basically Magnified Area 2, Cold Mastery, Cold Exposure, Potent Exposure, and Blind 2. Hollow Focus, these are spawning every 2 seconds around you. And cooldown recovery, Magnified Area, Armor Break 3, Urok Smelting, and then Blind 2. Hollow Resonance, the one that's on your back that rings when you do crits. Like I said, it doesn't seem to ring when you use Last Lament. Whatever, you don't need it. Cooldown Recovery 2, Pinpoint Critical, Elemental Armament 2, Heft, and then Blindside. And then Ice Strike, we're using Rapid Attacks 2. Oizin's Oath. So basically, big thing for mana sustain, you need Leech, percent of physical attack damage is mana somewhere on a piece of gear. Okay, you have to have that. And then you're going to get this lineage support, so then it takes that mana leech, changes it to the elemental leech instead of physical. You can either put this on Ice Strike or you can put it on Hollow Resonance. Doesn't matter. I have it on Ice Strike. Literally, your mana's gonna, like, look at our mana. Ready? Mana just gone. It goes quick. So we have mana on kill, and then we have this leech mana. So very mandatory for mana sustain. Okay, very mandatory. Then I have Elemental Armament 2, Ice Bite 2 to get the extra cold damage, and then Rage 3. So we're getting Rage, and then when we have Max Rage and do Shattering Palm, we get another 30% cold damage from this lineage. So Shattering Palm, we got Freeze from our Freeze build up. Ancestral Call 2. Every 3 seconds, it just gives it that extra oomph. Elemental Armament 2, Magnified Area 2. Basically, it spreads those ice chunks that it puts on the enemies. It's just a bigger area, and it really flies through them. Tempest Bell, I really never used this. I was kind of disappointed by Tempest Bell. I thought Tempest Bell was big damage. It doesn't seem like it is. I think it scales more off of the more elemental damage you do of all elements, maybe the harder it hits. Wasn't really impressed with it. Like when I'm just Shattering Palm, Ice Strike, and then like I'll throw this down and like hit a rare, it really doesn't chunk through them, but it's here. You have it. It is what it is. So I'm running Close Combat 2, Elemental Armament 2, Heavy Swing, and Heft, Hand of Chayula, Freezing Mark, Elemental Weakness, Heightened Curse, Charge Mark. So basically, when you trigger the mark, it puts Shock Ground on over for an extra 20% damage on top of the exposure we're getting from Midnight Zenith. Just, you know, the more negative you can crank into them, the better you're going to be. Herald of Ice. Obviously, we can still Perfect Jewelers and throw something else on it to give it even more damage. It's just not necessary, but you can do it. So we're running Magnified Area 2, Cold Attunement, Elemental Armament 2, Cold Mastery, Elemental Conflux. You can throw any of the masteries on there and grab it to +1. And make sure you don't go above your intelligence for this. Basically, plus the extra 10% we got. We're at 30% quality, so it's 69% more damage. Obviously had bad RNG, but when it hits cold and it stays on cold, which happens a lot, it's just a big boost of damage, massive boost. You don't get any boost when it's fire or lightning. Just, you know, the RNG gamble, when you hit it, it's nice. War Banner, running Duresso's Passion for 50 less glory to use. Magnified Area and Prolonged Duration 2. War Banner, keep in mind that if it's full and then you're like running around, I think 10-15 seconds it starts like receding, so it doesn't stay full. If it's not full, literally you hand a Chula into Shattering Palm on a boss and it's like full instantly. It just fills it up immediately. So if you don't have War Banner going into the boss room, do your opening rotation of Hand of Chula into Shattering Palm, Ice Strike, drop a Tempest Bell, then you can pop War Banner and then just boom, go ham with Requiem. And then Wind Dancer with close combat too. You can put some more stuff on Wind Dancer, whatever, you know. We still got an open slot that we're not doing anything with. But yeah, so let's go over gear. Obviously you want big physical damage, flat cold, attack speed, plus level to melee skills, and then crit chance. I have life per enemy killed. I highly suggest life per enemy killed somewhere in the gear because we have 2.7 life regen. It's pretty bad. So you get the life on kill, and then you get the mana on kill. And speaking of passives, I put it in the build. You can run like a Heart of the Well to get like gain extra percent cold damage, more crit chance. You literally could drop something and then grab another jewel socket up here if you wanted. But I'm just running damage with quarter staves, attack speed with quarter staves, and then freeze build up. And then the only other one I have is just critical damage bonus and then recover maximum mana on kill. I would want 2% of maximum mana on kill, but 1% still does the trick. So really, jewels aren't optimal. Obviously, you want crit chance, crit damage, maximum mana. Could get a diamond. It's so suboptimal for how much damage it does. It's absolutely insane. All right, it's insane. So yeah, weapon, obviously that's what you want on the weapon. You can grab increased fizz. This one had like fire and lightning on it, I think, or just fire. Basically use one of those new runes, I forget the name, but it's forged by Breath of Aldur, and it converted all elemental damage to cold. Like I said, you get a quarterstaff that's running 1,000 physical damage, and you're like, it's gonna more than double your DPS. You're gonna fucking destroy everything. Helmet, I'm running evasion, energy shield hybrids on everything. Stats, resistances, evasion, energy shield, life, pretty much. You gotta have 50 spirit on your chest piece, minimum 50 to get this to work. Again, running evasion, energy shield, resistances. I got fire, lightning, and cold on this, life, and then evasion, energy shield. And then I'm running the physical runes to give me more armor, evasion, energy shield. And then belt, if you do run Headhunter, it'll have strength and dexterity. It'll help you to get what you need to run this. Obviously, last lament, you're going to want reduced attribute requirements to make it easier. Not required, but it does make it easier. And then before you corrupt it, make sure you hit it with Perfect Jeweler. If not, no big deal. It's just more damage if you do. And honestly, if we had heft on it, we probably would have hit 6 mil with the Freezing Shrine, which is kind of crazy. Like, I see so many clickbait videos. I know you've seen them. I'm not going to mention names. We all know that put like 8 to 10 million tooltip DPS. Like they try to make it look like it's in the game, but then you watch them and like they're barely hitting 50,000 DPS on the tooltip. This is real, okay? This happens. I make it happen. Big numbers. I don't really understand a lot about this game. I got 1,500 hours, but I know how to make numbers get big. So, you know, we're doing something. But yeah, it can really scale. It can really scale. And then obviously you get more crit chance, you get better jewels. You could probably get this to like 8 million, honestly. It would be pretty crazy. So obviously belt, life, mana, stats, resistances, or run Headhunter, which would be an insane amount of damage. I haven't gotten a Headhunter yet, or I would throw it on, but Headhunter would, I couldn't even imagine. All right, boots, obviously movement speed, armor evasion, or not armor evasion, evasion, energy shield, life, resistances. I got fire, chaos, and then cold chaos. Gloves, obviously gloves are, it depends, because certain stats will carry over to certain stats. They're not random. So my increased armor, evasion energy shield gives me 8% more global evasion energy shield. If you had gloves that gave the hybrid plus like 40 to evasion, then plus 20 to maximum energy shield, this would then give you another, I think it was plus 4 to evasion and plus 2 to maximum energy shield per player level. But since we have the percent, it's giving us global. Physical damage and cold damage flat will give you maximum extra physical and maximum extra cold. Plus 1 or 2 level of melee gives you plus quality of all skills. Attack speed gives you onslaught, and then I have fire resistance, which then gives me also fire resistance plus maximum. So the Fist of Stone is just, it's just insane. Gloves, flat fizz, flat cold, any resistances. You got to have that leech. Physical attack damages mana. Gain mana per enemy killed on top of the jewel that gives you 1 to 2% on kill. Increased fire damage, not doing anything with it. It's just there. Again, physical, cold, stats, resistance. Like, this ring fucking sucks, okay? It's bad, but here we are. And then obviously the Eventide petals. This is fairly cheap. It's a few divs. Try to get a level 19 Midnight Zenith. And then obviously you can put Cold Mastery on it to make it level 20. And then that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Obviously you're going to want some flask that has big mana amount recovered. If you're having mana sustain, having like a 600 mana recovery flash, you just pop it, you're good. I'm not really running anything crazy. Like I said, you can run the Rite of Passage that gives you Spirit of the Owl, and it would be an insane damage boost on top of a Headhunter, on top of better Quarterstaff. This build would do so much damage, like it would be retarded. So yeah, that's the breakdown. Obviously, it's just a fun build, man. Just watching the ice pop everything, and you could scale it to the moon and it would just be absolutely insane. Like, you could scale it so much that you could just go in, hand a Chula into Shattering Palm, and then just ice strike them with a War Banner and probably rip through the boss like it was nobody's business. Yeah, I've had fun building this. Check it out. It's a very, very low budget, like 5-6 divines depending on Last Lament, and Eventide petal prices, they change every day. You probably less than 10 divs get this to where I'm at. Like, it's very cheap. You can get that in less than a day of grinding. Such a fun build. I actually really like it. It's just so good. It's just fun. Anyway, you know the drill. Check out other videos. Come hang out on the live streams, and I'll see you on the next one.